It's time to talk a bit about the crystal self. I'll tell you right at the outset that this is a video I have been very excited to record for all of you. In fact, it's the first video description of the crystal self experience to date. I'll admit something else. I am overflowing with excitement about everything I get to tell you here. So I must request that you bear with me, because I can only hope that everything will come out in exactly the right flow and order that it needs to, in order to communicate just how very special the crystal self experience is. So the crystal self was first launched at the beginning of 2022. The first wave launched in February 2022, and the second wave is preparing to launch now in February 2023. The crystal self is a 12-week odyssey of self-discovery. I first discovered the crystal self by accident, of course. It seems that everything most exciting in my world is given to me in some real, though difficult to describe way. In this case, I was playfully mapping a personal numerological blueprint to the Native American medicine wheel. And this is an expanded version of the Native American medicine wheel, including all of the 4 primary dimensions, as well as the above and the below. And what I discovered is that when you connect all the dots between those dimensions, you end up with a 3-dimensional object that looks just like a crystal. That object very adequately and brilliantly held all the information I was seeking for it to. And this became the crystal map. The crystal self is a dimensioned understanding of yourself. The crystal self experience is the most comprehensive, the most creative experience I've ever seen, produced, or offered in my life. In the crystal self experience, each participant will meet themselves anew week after week. When I say that you're going to meet yourself in new ways, I mean it. The synthesis of ideas and philosophies and systems that contribute to the crystal self make no sense outside of this unique container. It includes, of course, as you now know, the Native American medicine wheel. Each of its directions communicate a certain context. They help us to understand what we're learning about in which position of our lives. It contains numerology, and not just any numerology, but a very special form of numerology a friend of mine created called mystical numerology. It includes the major arcana of the tarot deck, believe it or not. It includes animal totems. It includes mineral allies, which was another just dramatic and wonderful, life-giving discovery that this whole experience produced a year ago. Oh, and of course, this whole thing is mapped to the hero's journey itself, and so the 12-week process that we will move through actually maps a comprehensive version of the hero's journey story arc, which means that every participant will complete a full cycle on the hero's journey by the end of just 12 weeks, which is remarkable. It's very, very exciting. Again, all of this happened. I'm not smart enough to have figured all this out. It figured itself out and then showed itself to me on paper. And now I get to share it all with you. For each wave of the crystal self experience, 5 participants will join me on this journey. Each week of the journey, we will meet a new position on your map. Each position, believe it or not, is its own crystal of self-discovery, which means that each week you will discover yourself through multiple facets. Each week you will be given what you need in order to move into the week and access your deep self through contemplation. Every person who experiences the crystal self will become their own detective. I will not read their numerology. I will not tell them anything about themselves. They will go in search of the truth. Each of you, in your experience of your crystal self map, each of you will discover yourself week after week in a way that ultimately becomes this remarkably dimensioned narrative of self. You will be enriched by this experience week after week. So each week, just so that you get an idea for what we're doing here, each week I will deliver one of your numerological frequencies. Each week you will explore what this frequency means. Just so you know, some of you have more than one frequency per position. So as we move from one position to the next week after week, you will discover a minimum of one numerological frequency through which you will discover yourself. This frequency will also reveal an archetype, because each of these frequencies maps to one of the characters in the major arcana of the tarot deck. And each of these characters is a whole new context through which you can discover yourself, through which you can explore different forms of embodiment in your life. And we discuss all of these things each week. So you will meet your frequency, you will meet your archetype, you will work with a different animal each week. By the end of the 12 weeks, by the way, you will have discovered 11 totem animals, each of which is unique to you, each of which is walking with you, each of which you can learn through, each of which you can embody, each of which you can play with and learn through for the rest of your life. You will, of course, also be given all of your mineral allies pertaining to each position that you meet, so that by the end of this experience, you will receive a full Mineral Allies blueprint, but not just the standard Mineral Allies blueprint. You will actually receive a special edition of the Mineral Allies blueprint, an edition that is entirely unique to this event. This will include everything that you would get in a typical Mineral Allies blueprint, as well as 3 new frequencies which were revealed to me as a result of the crystal self experience. These, by the way, are the culmination of the experience, a grand finale, if you will. And these 3 frequencies are the most empowered frequencies that I've ever discovered. In other words, each week you will leave our conversation filled with new information that you get to explore. Every detail that you receive each week, you will use to uncover more and more about the truth of you, so that by the end term of our 12 weeks, you will have learned about yourself through a total of 8 positions, 2 effects, which are results of the whole experience, 11 different animals, 12 numerological frequencies, and every one of these will have been mapped to the hero's journey arc, which allows you to discover yourself, face challenges, overcome those challenges, and return to your own deep center by the end term of just 12 weeks on this unique adventure, side by side. Only 5 of you will join this next wave, and the next, and the next. I cannot wait to meet and serve every one of you. There's so much here. There's more than I have shared. I'm sitting here in my head going, what am I forgetting? Because there's so much here. I can tell you that I continue to this day to access, refer to, and benefit from, and even expand my understanding of my own crystal map, my own crystal self experience. You will too. This is a gift that keeps on giving. You will discover yourself. I love that I get to contribute toward that end. Join me. Join me on the Crystal Self Odyssey. Be one of those 5, one of those special few whose life will be transformed because of this. I truly cannot wait to see you there.